Why is losing belly fat so difficult? Well, the answer is a lot simpler than you might think, but most people don't know it, so they end up losing the same 15 pounds over and over without seeing any real change. To stop that from happening to you, I'm going to show you 5 reasons why most people never lose their gut, and a proven plan you can follow for the next 30 days to see a significant difference in how much fat you're carrying around your midsection, just like the thousands of people I've worked with over the last 8 years. But to start, you need to understand how to avoid being the person with a big belly despite not having much fat anywhere else. Most people don't know this, but not all belly fat is the same. This sweater is your skin. Just below the skin, there's a layer of soft and squishy belly fat that you can grab and feel. This is called subcutaneous fat, which is just a fancy way of saying it's below the skin. But this fat isn't really the dangerous kind. Below that subcutaneous fat is your abdominal wall. This shirt is your abs. And behind your abs, which are a muscle, that's where all your organs live, like your pancreas, your liver, all that stuff. It's underneath the muscle. And along with your organs is the second type of fat. This fat is called visceral fat. And this fat isn't just sitting there in a bag smelling good. It's an active organ that releases chemicals straight into your bloodstream that can lead to a cluster of problems that often show up together: high blood pressure, high blood pressure, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and high cholesterol. That combo is called metabolic syndrome, and it's why a lot of people end up with diabetes or heart disease later in life. The good news is that this type of fat responds very quickly, especially to exercise, and it can be reduced even without losing much weight. I mean, take a look at my client Jen, for example. She's been crushing it. If we look at her most recent DEXA scans, we can see that she's been mostly maintaining her weight, but she's been gaining muscle and has cut her visceral fat almost in half. By the way, if you want to join my one-on-one coaching program, there's a link in the description box to apply and get more information. The bad news is that this subcutaneous fat that hangs around your belly underneath the skin, that stuff is a little more stubborn, and it does require you to lose a good chunk of your body weight. Once you start eating fewer calories, your body is forced to tap into these fat cells for some energy. And the tricky part is that this belly fat tends to be some of the last stuff to go, especially for men. So you might find that your arms, your chest, your back, and your legs get much leaner before you start seeing much visible definition in your midsection. But losing around 10% of your total body weight is a great start. That would have a significant impact on the size of your belly. The only difficulty here is that there are certain foods you could be eating that might be making it harder for you to get rid of your gut. The crazy part is you could be eating the same number of calories as someone else, but still storing more belly fat. So what should you actually eat in order to ditch the spare tire? A 2014 study from Sweden showed some pretty interesting results. In this study, researchers took 41 adults and overfed them for 7 weeks. They literally made them gain weight using muffins, which sounds kind of nice. Both groups gained around 3.5 pounds, but they weren't eating the same kind of muffin. Group A's muffins were made with polyunsaturated fats, also known as PUFAs, which sounds like the word fupa, which is a funny word. You know, fatty upper area. If you're over 50 years old and listening to this, I'm so sorry. These polyunsaturated fats are the kinds that you find in fish, nuts, and seeds. Group B had their muffins made with saturated fats. Those are the kinds you find in butter, fatty meats, and full-fat dairy. But here's where things get interesting. The group with saturated fats gained nearly twice as much visceral fat, the dangerous kind that wraps around your organs. Meanwhile, the polyunsaturated fat group gained less visceral fat and even built a little bit more muscle. Two groups, same calories, different effects on body composition. It's not that saturated fats are evil, it's that too much of it might tilt your body towards storing more fat around the waist. This doesn't mean you need to ban butter or cream or steak, it just means that balance probably matters. If your diet is heavy in saturated fats, it's likely easier for your visceral fat to build up. So here's what to do instead. 3 major health organizations, World Health Organization, American Heart Association, and the European Food Safety Authority all recommend keeping saturated fats under roughly 10% of your total calories. For most people, that's around 20 to 25 grams per day. And if you're not sure where you're at with saturated fat intake, just open up your food tracker. Personally, I use MacroFactor. It's the fastest and smartest food logger I've found. Code MARA gets you 2 weeks free, and the annual subscription works out to about $6 a month. Worth every penny. Inside the app, you can go into the detailed section and just see exactly how many grams of saturated fat you're eating every day. Then you can make a few simple swaps to bring it closer to that 25-gram range. You can swap butter for olive oil, swap fatty ribeye for leaner sirloin, bacon for salmon, but just remember that the biggest factor when it comes to losing fat is still your total calories. And a good starting point for calories that'll help you lose weight for most people is around your body weight in pounds times 12 per day. Or again, just let MacroFactor set it for you and then adjust it automatically based on how your weight is responding. Now there's one more change you could make to your diet that could help you lose fat faster without even trying. In a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, researchers deliberately overfed some more people for 8 weeks. Man, they're good at making people fat. They had 3 groups. One group was eating low protein, one group moderate protein, and the other group high protein. The low protein group gained body fat and lost muscle. Both of the higher protein groups also gained body fat but gained muscle along the way too. So even though the high protein diet didn't prevent the people in this study from gaining body fat, they had a better overall body composition at the end than the folks with low protein. So if you're gonna make any changes to your diet, here are 3 things to consider. 1, keep saturated fats around 25 grams per day or less. Aim for 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of your body weight in protein, or just start with your height in centimeters as a target for grams of protein to eat each day if you have lots of weight to lose. And most importantly, stay in a calorie deficit so your body weight trends down over time. And a good starting point for calories that'll help you lose weight for most people is around your body weight in pounds times 12 per day. Or again, just let MacroFactor set it for you and then adjust it automatically based on how your weight is responding. For myself and the folks I work with, we keep things pretty simple on the meal front to make healthy eating convenient and something you can actually logistically pull off throughout the week. So I recommend picking 3 fruits you enjoy, 3 protein sources, 3 starches, 3 veggies, and 3 fat sources. And then just make the majority of your meals based around those foods. You can still keep fun stuff in there like alcohol and desserts, because as long as you're eating the right amount of calories and the majority of your meals are coming up from those top 3 picks, you're doing a great job. Food is a huge part of what decides whether your body stores fat or burns fat. But if you're not doing the right type of exercise, you'll still lose the wrong kind of weight. To help you understand, let me introduce you to my beautiful girlfriend, Jay. When Jay first got into working out, she was doing everything right, but she was still carrying around 40 pounds of extra fat. And she was spending a lot of time in the gym. She was running, doing circuit workouts, and even doing portion control cup diets to get her weight in check. But nothing was really working the way she wanted it to. She had a whole gallery of before pictures on her phone, but no afters. So instead of doing more cardio, we cut that in half and we added a few lifting sessions per week. Nothing crazy, just full body resistance training focused on building muscle. And now her shape has completely changed. Her waist tightened up, her arms and shoulders look defined, and she's eating a lot more food too. Of course, she had to control her calories to lose fat. Lifting didn't make weight loss faster, but now she's finally starting to look the way she wants, which is awesome. So you don't have to give up cardio. It is a great way to improve your health and burn some extra calories, which of course means you can lose fat without reducing your calorie target as low. For me personally, I prefer to just do jujitsu or play pickleball with my friends, but I usually do a 30-minute spin bike session once a week just because it makes me feel great. You can also try a simple incline walking workout I really like. Just start walking on the treadmill 3 miles an hour and slowly increase the incline by 3% every 3 minutes until you hit 15 minutes. But if you really want to see some significant long-term changes and look more defined, building muscle is the key, my friend. And even 3 30-minute full body workouts per week is plenty to get you started on that. And now that you know that, let me show you how to make sure you're losing fat every week without starving yourself. I get that you want to lose fat yesterday, and I agree. It should be a quick process where you lose a full pound of fat, every handful of days. But there is a difference between being assertive and being reckless. Let me show you what I mean. This is the effort and results bell curve. So the further along we go here, the more effort you're putting in, and the higher this line goes, the more results you're getting. On the left side here, we have the person who's kind of putting in some effort, but not really seeing much happen. I mean, even here, like kind of a 6 out of 10 effort level, meh, some days tracking, some days not. There's just not much happening. So you get demotivated and you end up giving up. We'll call this guy Tony. Over on this side, we have the person who's cutting out all their carbs, eating 1,200 calories every day, doing an hour of cardio. I mean, come on, you think you're hardcore, but you're really just being a flash in the pan. This guy, we'll call him Christopher. Yeah, cool, you're doing everything, but nothing seems to be working, right? I have a quick aside for you here. There was this older Indian lady I used to work with when I worked in kitchens. Her name was Suki, amazing. If you're watching this by some miracle of a chance, hi, I love you. Thank you for making me tea all those mornings. This lady was just an absolute workhorse. She showed up early, she stayed late, she was in the back area prepping, chopping veggies, just keeping to herself and getting the job done every single day. Contrast that with the other dudes who worked in the kitchen, flashy with their fancy knives, loud, fucking vaping, and just getting in everyone's face. Those guys are what I call hot shots. They look cool and they think they're hardcore, but they're really not. Whereas Suki's back there, she's actually doing the damn thing day in, day out, quietly just working away and getting shit done reliably. Still waters run deep, and you ultimately want to have that kind of grounded consistency when it comes to losing weight. You want to live in this sweet spot where it's a good push, but it's working, right? You're seeing results happen, and you can do it long enough for it to actually matter. I'll show you what this could actually look like with a full 30-day plan at the end of this video. But this leads nicely into the final part of this system that'll make it 10 times more likely that you can live in this zone and you'll actually lose the fat you want. If there is one thing I see people do that sabotages their weight loss more often than anything else, it's what I'm about to show you. You're a few weeks into your weight loss journey, or a few months, like my client Nick, and you decide it's just not working as fast as you want. So you give up, or you decide to pull some calories out, do some more cardio, and then it becomes way too difficult to stick to and you fall off. I'm telling you, you're gonna lose fat from your face, your arms, your back, your legs, and eventually that belly is gonna go. And it might not happen as fast as you want to, but welcome to life, my friend. My investment portfolio isn't growing as fast as I want. I don't give up or decide to only eat rice and beans. The answer is almost always just to keep going. There's a famous quote I want you to burn into your brain right now. The goal is to keep the goal of the goal. I don't care how slow it goes, how many times you backslide, or how far you still feel like you have to go with things. There are 1,000 ways to win at losing this weight and only one way to lose. Do not fucking quit. So let's tie this all together into a 30-day plan you can follow to see some significant changes to how much fat you're carrying around your belly. Week 1 is the baseline setup. You're gonna get your calorie tracking app. We're gonna multiply your body weight in pounds by 12 to get a rough idea for how many calories you should be eating. And you're gonna start logging everything you eat every single day using a food scale. No sauces, no snacks, no oils, no drinks. Nothing is getting untracked. On top of this, we're gonna take a video of what you look like. Just prop your phone up in the bathroom and go selfie style video mode. Stand facing the mirror to the side and to the back, and then you'll have a clear picture of what your body actually looks like. For bonus points, you can use a flexible measuring tape. Just measure right around your waist, relaxed. Take a deep breath in, exhale, chill, and take a measurement right around the belly button. We're also gonna start stepping on the scale every single morning, first thing in the morning after using the bathroom, no food, no water, nude. Week 2 is all about locking in your routine. What I want you to do is start moving more. Try and get your steps up around 7,500 steps per day if you're not doing that already. Enable step tracking on your phone, get a cheap knockoff step tracker like this one on Amazon, and just get yourself moving. For bonus points, you can get yourself lifting in the gym. Even 3 full body workouts per week is fantastic. That way more of every pound you lose comes from fat and not muscle. There's a free workout plan included in my 21-day free fat loss plan, linked in the description box if you want it. In week 3, we're gonna get your protein up, shooting to have some protein on your plate every time you sit down to eat. If you can get it all the way up to your height in centimeters in grams of protein every day, that's amazing. At this point, you should have a pretty clear idea of what's going on with your body weight. It'll either be trending down, trending upwards, or just kind of staying flat. You can adjust your calories here if it's not moving down as quickly as you want to. Just something like 10% reduction at the very most. In week 4, we're just gonna remeasure and reflect. Take a look at how well you've been sticking to your calories. How has the body weight been trending? Are you seeing any difference in your photos? Has your waist measurement gone down? Have you been sticking to your workouts? Are you getting your steps in? Just ask yourself, what's going really well? Where am I struggling? What should I be doubling down on? And what's coming up over the next month? And how can I prepare for that? Losing fat feels like this big, mysterious task that's so difficult and arduous and time consuming. But once you break it down into a clear plan of things you can actually follow on a day-to-day basis, it just becomes a matter of time before you get where you want to go. And if you're planning on getting properly lean, like 15% body fat or so as a man, you want to see some visible ab definition, then watch this video next where I show you 9 things I wish I knew before getting to 15% body fat that would have saved me a lot of time and stupid mistakes along the way.